screen though.
Over to these two lovely gentlemen to explain who we are and where we've come from.
Yeah, so we've done this the last couple of years, done a bit of an origin story. What I've realised is we get a lot of new people at the moment. So can I get a quick raise of your hand if this is your first CrikeyCon, and I'll know how long to waffle. Wow, cool. Welcome to the show. So about, probably 17 years ago, Wade and I were at OzCert, and we were propping up the bar late that night, and we had a great idea of why don't we do this ourselves? And the answer was, it's quite hard work, and I'm quite work shy. Wade's a bit more dedicated, so he nagged me consistently for the next 10 years.
It's more first minute than last minute.
Yeah. So it was kind of, 10 years of nagging, and eventually said, look, I've got a crew together, we're going to run the con, do you want to be part of it? So here we are, and it is now 11 years and 10 conferences later. So I'll hand over to Wade we had quite a few committee meetings about the name.
Yes, like any good organisation or good kick-off, a lot of maybe too much emphasis is put on the name. And as you do, you go out and you try to find what's available. You have to check domain names, you have to check social media, etc. So in our endeavour of going back and forward, trying to find names, we did actually have probably a favourite that was up there with CrikeyCon, and it was called RooCon. So we went and had a look, and as in Kangaroo Con. And looking for RooCon, the domain was available for us, so we went and had a look at that. We went and looked at the social media, and we discovered that the Twitter account was taken by a rather, one could only say, a sophisticated individual who was eager to communicate or articulate something to the world, and it probably made up our mind to go away from RooCon, and that one thing, that single tweet that they communicated to the world was, "Fuck you." So here we are today with the name CrikeyCon, and it's grown on me. I love it. It's a great name.
Yeah, definitely. We did also register some trademarks and all sorts of fun stuff because there are some other people that use the word crikey in the country, and we really didn't want to annoy them. So 2014, we started our journey at the Polish Club in Milton. We had the restaurant upstairs booked, and I think we had 58 tickets and 10 contributors and speakers, and it was quite the show. We realised we were going to outgrow it quite quickly, so we sort of, the formation.
Oh yes, the formation. So in the early days, and one thing that can be said for CrikeyCon, there's been so many people who have contributed over the years, so many people. And in the early days, we had a different group of people. I think it's worth acknowledging them, and hopefully they're here and they hear this as well. We had a few of us. We had Anne Luke, we had Gary Gaskell, we had Ashley Jubal, we had OJ Reeves was part of it as well. Bull and Pat lent in big time as well to help kick this off. So big shout out to those guys, and thank you for being part of the initiation.
So we decided, if we were actually going to grow to more than 60 people, we would need a new venue. And at that point, the Irish Club in the city was pretty popular in the InfoSec scene, way before cyber. So we moved there. Now, unfortunately, they had a few issues. It was a beautiful venue, but we couldn't go there again, and we had our first and only year of pyro. So there's us up on stage early on, and there's me chugging a beer. Oh yeah, actually this was the one anecdote I wanted to say. I hadn't jumped up on stage at any point in the first con. I wasn't planning to in the second con, but Wade had to leave early, so with 3 beta blockers and 4 pints of Guinness into me, I stood up and closed the second CrikeyCon, and then...
And that wasn't the reason for the pyrotechnics?
No.
So, moving away from the early days at the Polish Club, we thought we needed a bigger place, so we went hunting for different venues, and the Polish Club in the CBD came up there as one of our highest priorities to look at. And we went in, did the tour, loved it. We were going to host the con there. We then realised, only after the fact, we'd paid, etc., that there was questions about its solvency. And each time we'd go back, we'd be presented with a new individual or a different individual, because we'd go speak to Jack. Then we'd go next time, we'd speak to Sally because Jack's left the organisation. We'd go speak to Sally. Then we'd speak to Daryl, and Daryl was now explaining what was going on because Sally left the organisation. So this whole endeavour of trying to get through the finances of the Irish Club. We end up getting there, and on the day, it kicked off even more. And this is where we get to Glyn's comment about the pyrotechnics. Let's say on the day of CrikeyCon, on number 2, there was an Cyclone Alfred level event. And not only was it raining outside, but it was raining inside as well. And some of the electrics around the stage were starting to spark as well. So that was our initiation to our pyrotechnics.
Yeah. So the absence of the Irish club the next year meant we had to move again. And we were lamenting this back in the Polish club with Jadwiga, the manager. And she said, well, why did you leave here? And we're like, well, we outgrew you. And she's like, well, why don't you just use the ballroom? And we're like, the what now? And she took us downstairs, and behind a dark brown door was a massive capacity venue that we then moved to. And she's like, don't worry, we can take the disco ball down. And we're like, oh, no. The disco ball is now part of our DNA. And I have to thank the crew for surprising me with my disco-equipped mobility scooter today, because I busted my tibia. Full details over a beer later if you want them, but needless to say, don't stand on wheelie bins. So we moved into the Polish club for a couple more years. There's some shots of us. The original venue upstairs became the Lockpicking and CTF and our first attempts at event space, and that's sort of how CrikeyCon has evolved over the years. Our attitude is we get a venue and put some people on stage. If you have good things you want to do, then please bring them along and we'll make that opportunity for you. So you'll see the huge events hall next door now is all self-driven, not literally this year because the Porsche isn't here, but there's a whole bunch of stuff that goes on in there, and we've got all sorts of things in the meeting rooms as well that are all people saying to us, hey, I have this cool stuff, can I come and show it at your con? And we love to have them here. So 2017 is kind of more of the same, some familiar faces on stage. We're starting to build a repertoire of common faces at this stage, and we've been really grateful for many of our speakers who've come back time and time again to keep you guys informed and entertained. Our first coffee cart outside the Polish club as well. We have had a tradition of couches over the years, which we do need to reinstate. We realised this was the perfect opportunity to go to Chesterfield Con, which was one of Wade and I's original ideas as well. We outgrew the Polish club, genuinely this time. So we scouted around, went to every venue in the city, I think. My dream was to run it at a music venue because I'm a complete gig pig, but the problem with music venues is they tend to have one big space, no other space. So we kind of like, with the events, we were spoilt. But I still went to the Tivoli and I put my bum where many famous artists have been in the green room, so I kind of paced the floors. I met Pixie at the zoo and went out and explored stuff, so I kind of scratched the itch without doing it. We had a real love affair with the Powerhouse, but we couldn't get that over the line, but Wade has revisited that and now runs Realms of Cyber out of the Powerhouse, so credit to you for that. We settled on Riverside Receptions, events at Oxlade, which was a beautiful riverfront venue in Newstead. New something. It rained, of course, because we are the con of bad weather. So we moved in. It was, but we did manage to use the vistas outside eventually. So in 2019, we actually became the Riverside Conference. And of course, as time went on, we outgrew it. So, and they would keep taking the bookings, but then there was a major renovation planned, and eventually they kicked us out. So as we roll through the Riverside years, which we remember fondly, so much beachfront, we then moved up again. And we wanted, all the way through, we've wanted venues that had character, venues that, I got told off for calling some of the venues grungy, and I don't think that applies anymore, but we like something that's got some history and got some character, and the RNA Showgrounds really fired us up for that and has given us the capacity both to run the show as it is now and also to grow into the future. We seem to be finding our mojo around 1,000 people at the moment, so if that's the way it goes, we're pretty happy with that, but there's another hall behind us which is as big as both of these halls, so you know, if everyone brings their friends next year, we can always upgrade. So some shots of us here at the RNA. With a more professional venue comes a lot less load on us as well, which has been fantastic. So as you can see here, the volunteer army that starts to be required to run the show is growing year on year as well, and thanks to all of them. My clicker's clicking. So again, these are some of the additional events we've been running. And here we are at last year. So, watch this space for the photos from this year. Well, I did get a bit snap happy at this stage. But here's a shot of all of our wonderful volunteers. And a little bit about volunteers.
Yes. Over the years, this could not have happened without so many wonderful volunteers. And I'll do a shout out to a few of you. So thank you very much. I can't name everyone, but we really appreciate all you've done. Like there's people like Gary Gaskell who have lent in, lent out, and has been championing a whole heap of things in the back end. We've had Jason Kepnich, who holds us together and makes us look good up on the stage, and Dom, who joined us in the Irish Club and got the baptism of fire, almost literally, from the pyrotechnics at the Irish Club. We've had people like Steve Bennett, Peter Johnson, Andy Wallace as well, Archie and Christine. We've had so many wonderful people help us out over the years, and we're just really appreciative of that. And of late, the leadership leaning in, we've now got Sherelle, Scotty, not now, but for a while now, we've had Sherelle, Scotty, Duke and Aaron, who've just the glue that holds this place together. So we're really appreciative of all those people. And you all, the community owes you for putting this together, so thank you very much. One of the big things, and probably one of the areas that Glyn and I are most proud of for the conference, and the leadership, the board, are most proud of, is our opportunity to give back on your behalf. In the first year, we kind of set this as one of the foundations for the conference. First year, we were able to give away somewhere along the lines of $1,000+ to a charity. Over the years now, we're well and truly over as far as donations go, a whole heap to different organisations like Act for Kids, Backpack Beds for the Homeless, Little Lives, Stand By You Foundation, and there's a lot more as well. And thank you for putting in suggestions when you buy your tickets as well. So over the years, cumulatively, we've been able to give away well in excess of $150,000 on your behalf, so thank you.
Now, the eagle-eyed among you may have seen some faces in the shots from the previous shows who aren't around anymore, and I'll do a quick trigger warning here because we're going to talk about mental health in our industry and also, sadly, people who've passed away. So, David Jorm, who passed away in February this year, had been a massive part of CrikeyCon over the years. He's presented multiple times. He was an amazing human being who interacted with so many different communities and had so much impact on all of us and all of the other areas of his life, including Tuskon, one of our favourite friends and sister conferences. I wanted to mention him. There are a lot of his friends in the crowd here today who will be able to tell you probably many more stories. He was a friend of mine for 20 plus years that I've been in Australia, and we were friends in IRC before that. Draw your own conclusions based on ages and habits. But to mark his passing a little, we've dug out all of the old merch that we still have left, and that's going to be for sale at the merch desk from the morning break. And we will donate all the proceeds from that to the Rotary Mental Health Research Trust that his parents and sister selected in his honour. So if you want to pick up some retro merch and vicariously donate to help our other friends who are struggling with mental health at the moment and in the future, then please feel free. It's really important to us to thank the sponsors who make this show possible. We were inspired by models like KiwiCon, where our sponsors put their hands in their pockets and give us money for very little recognition, very little immediate payback. It is all out of their support for the community. There's no vendor villages. They're not in your faces about what they're doing, but their money helps us run the show. And combined with your tickets, this means we can enhance this year on year and still continue with our mantra of donating as much of our excess funds at the end of each conference to these charities. So I want to say a massive thank you to Queensland Government, who've been platinum sponsors for a few years now, and they had supported us many ways before that. We've got repeating and new gold sponsors. So we've got Devicey, InfoSec, Securo, and TantoSec this year. 2 of those have come on this year, and we thank you all very much as well. And we also have a mix of old and new friends in our silver sponsors. So Subliminal and Flametree Cyber came on this year, and Decipher Bureau, Division 5, and Volkis have supported us for a number of years. And again, we thank you wholeheartedly. We also have supporters. So these are people that do things, donate things, provide content, provide support. So we've got OzHack, Payatu, and Pentester Labs are all around. You can buy gear, you can go and interact with the crews and have a lot of fun. One I've realised we've missed off here, shamefully, is CyberCX, who are running the Lock Sport Village for the 2nd year running. So please go and check that out. They've shipped a bunch of people and a bunch of gear for you to learn more about lockpicking and all other fun stuff. So thanks to all of those guys. So we kind of touched on this earlier of sort of who's new to the con, but it's also nice to get an idea of who's come from outside of sort of Queensland or southeast Queensland today. Hey, awesome. It's great to see travellers. Has anyone come from as far as Houston, for example? And to get a feel of industry versus hobbyists, so who works in cyber or cyber-related industries? Oh, okay, that's probably more than I thought. So, but we do have some people looking to break in, or hobbyists. Few hands. Okay, cool. Tell your friends, bring them along. We want to get more new people in each year. And who's a noob and who's an old dog like me? So noobs, please. Yeah, Aki, right. And we always try and get a balance of red, blue, and purple. So let's have a hands up if you're on the red team side, the offensive side of cyber. Yeah, we're supposed to be a HackerCon. Come on, bring the baddies out.
Great. I hope we've given you a good taste of who we are as an organisation, or rather as a conference. Now, there's a lot of things we're proud of as far as the conference goes and what we've been able to achieve over the years and what you've achieved over the years. We think of it as a place where people launch their careers. So those of you who are noobs, we hope you get a lot out of today. A lot of people are making lifelong friends at CrikeyCon, and we're very proud about that. And we hope you get inspired to pursue more in this industry. Now, the future, we hope it to be better from a conference, and rest assured, we're always going to put the community first. So thank you, and let's kick off CrikeyCon.
So sorry, we have one more, and that's thanks to the contributors. There's no con without content. Thanks to our sponsors again. Thanks to our supporters. Thank you so much to the Sleuth, which is our colloquial name for the herd of drop bears that actually make this thing possible, because if I was trying to do it, well, you've seen how shambolic I am. And the venue have been awesome, our AV crew are awesome, and mostly thank you to you, because there's not much point us being on stage looking at an empty room. So thanks again. Give yourselves a round of applause.